Today we are talking with artist and printmaker Tammy Ratcliff. She is a past resident of ours. I can't remember how long ago, but it would have been somewhere around 2012.
And then,
look,
another
2012 was right.
Another stay a few years after that.
Yes.
Your husband stayed with us.
Yeah.
Don't remember what year that was.
Yeah, I can't remember what.
It's just all a blurry confusion. But we hope everyone out there is doing well. It's been a rough week. I'm not gonna lie. I have been feeling blue. So I feel better today. I think sunshine helps.
Yeah.
And like knowing that I'm going to be like chatting with another printmaker and, you know, having a little like, internet travel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Internet travel, virtual travel.
Mm-hmm. Virtual travel is helpful, but yeah, no, it's been a bit of a, I don't know. It's, I'm sure that people can relate to that feeling of bleh. Just bleh. All right, let's try this again.
Hi.
Hi. I gave up. I couldn't figure it out.
That's weird. I don't know why it wouldn't be working.
I don't know. The little camera icon wasn't there.
Weird. Strange.
That is strange. But cell phones will work. We're on a cell phone. You can be on a cell phone. We'll be on cell phones together.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome to Flat Files. For those people who have never seen this, this is a bit of an art showing that we started almost.
It's been a year.
It's been a year now.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea was we would catch up with some other artists and like share a studio visit, share a couple like works that have been tucked away in a flat file and haven't seen the light of day in a while, and just kind of like have a really casual chat.
Yeah.
So we start all of our episodes off with like, if you could introduce yourself and kind of a bit about your own practice and maybe take us on a little tour.
Oh, yeah. You're the first tour of our studio.
Really? That's exciting.
Well, everything doesn't have its place yet.
That is fine.
It's in that nice, clean, everything's there sort of state, and then I get to like rearrange the furniture in bits and pieces.
Cool.
So, I'm a printmaker. I'm in Guelph. I run an art supply store with my husband and an amazing team of artists who we are so grateful to over this past year. They're kind of amazing people, and I'm going to get all emotional. Anyway,
that's okay.
And, one of the beautiful things about this year is people are being really creative.
Yeah.
So it's kept us busy in that way, like helping people with materials. But I haven't been as busy with my practice. So I'm just starting to carve out a bit of time now. And I was really busy before the pandemic, and I had a few shows and I had a body of work, and I was really excited about where things were going. And we built this studio and then moved the press in, and then the pandemic. So, but right now I'm taking a course at Zea May, and it's been really wonderful. And getting into the flow of a regular practice again and finding ways to carve out that time and allow yourself the time, give yourself permission. And I'm kind of in the middle of that. I had a class just before joining you two, and our project was the last weeks of the class were to consider the last 3 weeks as a residency. And I was like, how appropriate. These next 3 weeks, I'm entering into a mindset of a residency and continue the body of work that I started before the pandemic.
I have two questions. One question, do you have headphones? Because we're getting a lot of like weird feedback.
I have headphones. headphones.
Amazing. Once those are in, I'll ask the second question.
Are you also curious about Zea May's workshop?
That and also what residency mindset is.
So 3 questions.
Well,
I've been really excited. I've been catching up on Zea May's newsletters, and I know that they just released a really big workshop. I'm curious if you're doing that. So much so because I got an OAC grant recently to research non-toxic lithography, and so I've been scouring the web trying to find plausible solutions to not using nitric acid and trying to do lithography as green as possible. And Zea May's is one of those resources that I have yet to tap into. I love what they do.
I know. It's a really wonderful. She's like, I can't hear anything you're saying because I don't have headphones in yet. There we go.
I'm sideways.
Oh, that's so much better. I can hear you very close. Yes, excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, so all the questions. Let's start with Chrissy's.
Okay. Well, I think talking about a residency mindset is really interesting, especially when you're not physically going to a residency. So I'm I kind of want to know how you're going to tackle that challenge. Well,
Earlier this year, I forget when it was, maybe a month or 2 ago, Chris and I, my husband Chris is a painter. We were both feeling a little burnt out. And so we thought, we're not going anywhere. No one's going anywhere. What can we do to kind of take a break? And I mean, we live together and we work together. So you guys know. Sometimes it's nice to just go for a really long walk. And so we said, what if we use that studio outside and pretend that we are far away? So we each took an opportunity, a week each, we set up an air mattress and we camped out here. And
amazing.
I know. And when, imagine you could sleep in your studio. Anyway, he would go to the store and then I would go in and make some food and provisions I was camping. And then I would come back out here and I was doing my own thing. And then he did the same thing. So we figured that was amazing. That was like a holiday, a break, and we can do that again. It's just kind of setting it up for yourself, right? Putting yourself in that frame of mind that this is my focus, I guess. And I was just thinking, what is it about residencies? Why do I love residencies so much? And I love traveling, but it's like a way of running away without upsetting anyone. And it's just for you. So, and it's healthy.
Yeah. It is healthy.
I really like that idea of an air mattress and just kind of separating yourself. So I think that sometimes change of scenery is such a big inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about you, but I've been in a house for almost a year now.
See, I haven't. I've been out working all the time. So just being able to be in my pajamas for the day, I hear about other people have been doing, or just to, not get dressed and get up, just to putter around and read a book, or to draw all afternoon. It was the greatest gift.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we are very fortunate that we just shut everything down and haven't had to negotiate how to have people here or how to be open, because it just did not seem feasible or financially worth it, for the stress.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we have had days where we just stay in pajamas all day. And although I will say that a few too many days of that and you start to really lose motivation in a pretty dramatic way, and it starts to feel very sad and a bit hopeless, or at least it does for me. I shouldn't speak for all people who stay in their pajamas all day. For some, maybe it works really well. But for me, I start to, I think running an art space during a pandemic where most of the things that you did meant that people had to be in your physical house and space all the time. just not doing anything at all felt really like not healthy. So some pajama time has been great, but too much pajama time is bad for my brain.
I think some of it has been good for artists who were able to kind of roll with it and take the time that they had, like if they were off work, or it has been good for some people, but
it has not been too. I had optimism that like it was going to be incredibly productive, but that experiencing that like kind of there's been a weird burnout, like a very weird creative burnout, where like I've been making some work, but like not nearly enough considering the amount of like free time I've had.
Yeah.
It's just been like kind of weird and a little bit sad and a little bit blue. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to be like really motivated to create things right now.
No, I get it. They say like the low level of stress, like over a long period of time is very wearing, and it's a type of trauma. So, I don't know. I've been engaging a lot of resources on how to deal with that sort of stuff. So, which, I mean, we've got the time to do it in a way, to delve into those dark places and figure these things out, because,
That's totally true. How has like doing a project with Zea May's been like working out in like away from their actual physical space? What's that experience been like?
Oh, well, I'm working with Meredith Bromberg, and she is amazing. And the group of people that I have are just so lovely and generous that I look forward to it so much. Like, it's really having that appointment and, having, and maybe for you too, like you have pivoted and created these weekly sessions. So you are, you look nice, you're all cleaned up, and you're making this appointment. And I think just those things, even that little thing, and she gives us homework, and whether we do it or not is not the point, but it's in our minds. And then when it gives us something to chat about together, and then we have the community that a lot of us are missing. So,
right. Yeah. Oh, that sounds so nice. Are people able to participate if they don't have a studio?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Not everybody has one. No, yeah. And at first I had, like, the reason I've been a fan of Liz Chalfin for a while. Like, we saw each other in Hamilton at the Shift. Mm-hmm. And I thought everything she was speaking about just was so wonderful. And it's the same thing that you two are working with in the studio, or Kyle. And I was in the International Print Center, a group show last year, and the prize was coursework. And so I said, I want to go to Zea May's, and this is a really good opportunity. So it was a weekend course, and it was care and feeding of the print studio. And I thought, okay, whatever she has got, I want to learn everything about, a nice green studio. And that was March last year. So I didn't go.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. And so in its place, it took a little while, and then I realized that she had made some videos, and so that those were available online. And I also took is it Moku Hanga? The Japanese woodblock. I took one of those, which was wonderful. And they were just videos I could look at over and over again, which for the care and feeding of the studio was amazing, because you've got a lot of notes about setting up different things. And then I still had money left over, so I signed up for this Zoom class, and it's called Jumpstart Your Art.
Cool.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
In case people don't know, Zea May's is a studio in the States. I forget where exactly they are located.
I feel like they're not too far from Corning. Is it the university? I'm going to say it was something like I would have stayed overnight. The drive is like east, southeast.
Yeah, my brain it's like Midwest-ish, isn't it?
I think is it Florence, Massachusetts?
Oh, is it Massachusetts? Oh, it's like not Midwest at all. It's like
No, East. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I can't remember, but I'll put a link in it after this to the shop. But yeah, they focus a lot on like creating green and sustainable printmaking practices, and they do such a fantastic job of like holding themselves accountable for that process. So they've done a lot of pretty intensive interrogations of their own studio where they've like had consultants or some kind of like outside group come in and actually like audit their practices and review what they've done to basically like let them know if what they think they're doing is sustainable actually is.
It is. I got it.
Yeah, Massachusetts,
Very
nice.
wise says Florence, Massachusetts.
Thank you.
Crowdsourcing information.
Terry's in my class.
Oh, I love Massachusetts. It's such an amazing state. Yeah, so it's just an incredible space, and they're doing really great work, and they're very
They're super
like
approachable.
yeah, and open with their resources. Like on their website, there's just so much documentation of their process and practice and choices, and yeah, just I don't know. We're always so appreciative of spaces that are like set up like that. So they're wonderful.
Yeah. And I was so grateful. Like they must have been working pretty quickly to put up all the classes in video format or just to make them accessible. And they were really affordable. And there was like pay what you can, like a sliding scale. And yeah, they're pretty wonderful.
Yeah. Well, can we get a bit of a studio tour of like the space? So what, you built this or it was already there?
No, there was a little shed, a 2-story garage that was here, and it was a recording studio. And it was called, Pipe Street Studios. And the last person that was here was James Gordon, a musician and songwriter. And so we bought the house from him, and it needed some work. And to kind of delve into the work, we really had to take the whole thing down and build a foundation. And because it was 2 stories, kind of, we wanted to keep that so that Chris could have his own space and I could have my own space.
Right.
And
I assume you're on the ground floor.
Yes. You know why, right? I get the cement floor. Yep. And
and Chris gets to be upstairs where paintings can live easily.
Yeah, and I won't go upstairs today because that's not fair, because I'll let him. You can talk to him one day.
Yes.
But he has a balcony, so his space is a little smaller, but to make it, when we were designing it, the house, they said, oh, it's too big. It can't be bigger than the house. And we were like, why? Why not? So we're like, okay, fine. So the 2nd story, we made it a little smaller and put a balcony so that officially it's smaller than the house.
But that's how you want it. Like as an artist, like, you know, I want to like sleep in a small room, and then I want to have like the most amount of space for studio stuff.
Yeah. We were looking at a few garages around town before we found this property, and we're like, yeah, the garage is a perfect space, right? Like you can just have a corner where the bed sleeping area is and a sink, and then you're set.
Yeah, it's true. It's so true. I've known artists that like have put over top of like a storage area for like paintings or whatever, like a little loft where their bed is, and then the rest of their space is a studio. They're like, I don't need any more than this bed. That's fine. A little corner up on top of a storage unit, fine. As long as I have space to work.
Yeah,
that's all that matters.
I know, but the problem with the garages was there were like contamination issues. So I guess they don't like people living in places that were, you know,
automotive places.
Yeah. So our lawyer was like, please don't do this.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. So building it seemed like the perfect solution. And we had an amazing builder, Sang Young. He was amazing. Anyway, so you want to see, how do I, oh, I'm attached. It doesn't matter. Okay. So
You can spin the
You can spin
camera
the camera
around.
around by pressing the camera stop button.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then at
thank
least you can
you.
see.
Do you remember my wooden computer? My first,
I do.
my laptop.
I do.
I have a real one now. Okay, here we go.
First time that Tammy came and stayed with us, she brought like a wooden, like a kid had made it, right? I thought.
Well,
maybe.
I would come down to breakfast in the morning and everybody be at the kitchen table, the dining room table with all their laptops, like hard at work and all their gadgets. And I didn't have anything. I had a sketchbook. And then I stayed at my friend's house. I visited my friend Karen Cooper in Belleville, and her daughter also didn't have a laptop. She was like 8 or something. So Grace is industrious and amazing, and she made herself a wooden one. And I said, oh my God, Grace, can I borrow your laptop?
It was so cute. And the letters, I remember the keyboard being like so close to being spot on, but just wrong enough that like clearly a child had made it. It was great.
And it was permanently on Facebook.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right.
Here's my beautiful sink.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, that is a beautiful sink.
Isn't it gorgeous?
Yeah.
You know, these are the things I give up other things for, right? You guys understand.
We really do.
Stainless steel sink? Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
New muffler for your car? Heck no.
Why would you need that? So I have a little teeny tiny bathroom.
Oh, that's nice.
That's so great.
With an itty bitty sink.
Lovely.
Yeah. And I had a whole bunch of things at my old studio that I'd accumulated over the years, and I was trying to figure out storage and counters, and I'm still, almost done. But we decided to just incorporate everything I had. And I have a friend who's a carpenter, and he likes, I forget what he calls himself, like dumpster, I don't know. He finds things and makes things out of them.
Yeah.
So
wait, is that like a butcher block counter on the other side?
Yeah, Chris did this one.
Oh, so nice.
Because the studio's lower than the house, that's I don't know if you know what that is.
Is that
plumbing,
your sump pump?
Yeah.
Or like
your bilge pump?
Bilge pump?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you guys still have that, eh?
Yeah, our studio pumps across the lawn to the septic tank.
Right. So it gets noisy just once in a while, but it's not bad. But Chris, he took this top off an IKEA thing, I think. So that's that. And then this is my old flat files.
Yeah.
They're so nice.
I'm just figuring out where everything goes because everybody loves a pegboard back.
I truly love a pegboard back. I've been trying to get Kyle on board with the pegboard.
Oh, Kyle, look how your inks could be.
Yeah, our inks live in cans, though. We don't have little tubes.
Oh,
this is more like Kyle's life.
There you go. There you go.
Oh my gosh!
What else?
Oh, that's a nice piece. I'm liking.
Thank you.
I like that piece, and the apron piece I've been loving in the pictures. Is so nice.
Oh, the apron was the one that I think the apron, and there was a pair of gold underpants at that show that kind of connected me to the course at Zea May's now.
Oh,
so yeah,
that's so nice. Is that a big drafting table? Oh,
yeah. So this is where the wooden flat files were last week, and then Terry took them apart and put them under the counter over there. So now I can have the drafting table because I didn't really have a space to draw. It is a big space, but and you know why I need these doors? That was a pretty dramatic day in my life when it just fit.
Oh my gosh. So you got to bring it in as a whole unit? Jealous.
It had to, yeah. I don't know. I guess you could take them apart, right? But
That's what we've done with every press because we've never had a
Oh.
space that had like a proper door. Like
yeah,
a garage door, I should say. They all have normal people
doors.
Not large
They
machine.
don't fit a giant printing press with like a wheel on the side of it.
Yeah, and it was in Kingston, and then I had to get it to here, so it went on a flatbed truck, and then I had to store it, and I felt like I had to pass an interview process with this amazing woman who runs a storage company here. 'Cause she's like, "Let me get this straight. You bought something, and you're going to store it for you don't know how long." She goes, "Why did you need to buy it?" So I had to show her pictures of it. She's like, "What is it? What's it for?"
Oh, that's when like I realized how lucky I am to have a sister who has like too many sheds on her property. And we got a litho press donated to us, which we like don't technically have space for right now, but it's hard to say no to a litho press. And so it's just sitting in pieces in my sister's shed right now while we try to figure out what we're going to do. Ooh, what is happening here?
This is one of my favorite places, and I think I have to make more of this because I really love doing a lot of proofs, and I collect all the bits and pieces of paper, and I like just printing on things when I don't know where it's going. And so I put them up here. It's what's this board called? Homosote? Do you know?
Sure. No idea.
No.
I use it
Oh,
for
what is it?
flattening or drying them.
Oh,
I think-
yeah.
Do you know what it's called? I'm not sure. But if you
It kind of
cover it
feels
with
like-
some muslin, it's a good bulletin board.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of put them up there.
Board.
What's that?
This is like a mood board. It's just like
Yes.
full of like cool things.
Yeah, because all my flat files are full of those things. So every once in a while I can bring them out. This is where I've been able to be engaged, I think, lately is using what I have. I think I have all these flat files of things and I want to force myself to use them.
I love, like, I want to talk about, like, your paper choices because that's something that I was drawn to in your work before I even met you because I saw your work, I think at, like, Printopolis, maybe?
Oh, yeah, I think Pam was there that day at...
when was that? That was such a long time ago at a gallery that I don't even remember the name of in Toronto. Off of
AWOL.
Queen Street.
AWOL.
Yeah.
On Ossington.
Ooh,
Yeah.
going back
Yeah,
a little bit.
I think it was 2010.
I think you're right. And you had they were beautiful, really large prints of like botanicals, but maybe there was also like some kind of textile component, or perhaps I'm making that up. Like an embroidery thread or some kind of stitching. I don't remember.
No, you're right. You're right, 2006, 10? Anyhow, I was making large prints for a show in 2004 at the Art Gallery of Guelph, and I had a smaller press, so I was trying to figure out how to make larger works on a small press, and using the Japanese paper, doing shinkole, I figured out I could break the image down and then put it back together because the University of Guelph had a big press.
Mm-hmm.
And I had so many proofs that because I kept changing the plates too, like in some instances I would start off with one state and then etch more. Oh, I'll show you this one actually.
Uh-oh.
No.
And she's gone. But I do think that
Chris said. I think it's called homicide. Homosote.
I don't know. It looks too much like
like a
homicide
fibrous.
to me that I can't not see that.
And Astrid says, I'm inspired by Tammy. You're always inspiring. And she loves the two of us.
Aw, love you too. I'm inspired by Tammy as well. Watching Tammy work is amazing. We should have Chris on the show because also watching Chris work, there's like the texture of Chris's work will be hard to like really see, I think, on video because it is like sumptuous. I don't know how to.
Ooh,
oh God, it's so good. I mean, I don't know, maybe Chris is doing really different things now, but the work that he was doing when he was here, you wanted to like, I don't know, like just lay in the paintings. They were just really nice.
I think sumptuous is a good word. We have my favorite piece that we kept of his, because he would sell them on us sometimes. You know how that happens? You have a piece and then it's like, oh, I sold that one. What? The one I loved? I thought it was a gift. So the one we have now that's never going anywhere is called Warm Blanket.
Oh, see? Exactly.
Yeah.
We have a piece that I did when I was in undergrad that I like really like. It's the one that's in the dining room, and we got asked to be part of a show, and they wanted to have large paintings, and I hadn't painted any large paintings, and by that I mean I hadn't painted any paintings, and still haven't really painted many paintings. And so I was like, well, we'll just put this in because it's a large painting. It didn't really matter that it wasn't new. And then there was like a bunch of people trying to get me to sell it. Like there was like a little bidding war. And I was like, no, I will not sell. This is my painting for myself. I'm not going to sell it. And people thought I was crazy for not wanting to sell it. I was like, I don't care about money that much to like not have this in my life. I just love this painting too much to sell it. And I still feel great about that choice.
Have you had it there for a little while? Would I have seen it?
100%, yeah.
Oh, it's a wonderful painting. You should hang on to
it. I will. It's mine forever.
There'll be other paintings, Chrissy.
I know.
And you have been painting. What are you talking about?
I know. I just haven't been like.
She's.
We don't need to go. We don't need to go down.
She's been making murals, so she has been painting, but she only used painting as like works on canvas
that are big,
like the size of a wall.
You have been engaged in the act of painting quite a bit, I think.
I think so too.
You're not wrong. Okay, let's put the spotlight back on you, shall we? Carry on. Spin the tour.
Well, if I turn it around, I might lose you again. I'm just going to see if I can do it.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
You did it.
So this was one of those pieces that was in that kind of where they turned into, let me start again. It was a body of work of large scale pieces that were composed of 12 parts. And in this one, you can see how they were re-etched and then printed. So once one square was printed, I couldn't go and print it again because I changed the plate. So I would print a few extra on some Japanese tissue or some really fine washi paper. And those pieces I just kept. And I do have an accumulation of prints on washi because of these whole series of works. And after you do an edition like this, it's just so much time involved in one image that I really needed to do something completely different with those pieces. And so that's the work that you're thinking of from Printopolis was, I thought, what if I stitch them together and layer them and put different papers underneath? And also the paper, I love working with these papers. Like they're so strong, they're really fine and semi-transparent. But when they're pasted down, you don't get all the kind of texture of them. So stitching them allowed me to show the layers and the texture and stuff.
Yeah, they're I mean, the paper is really beautiful, but it also is just like such a compliment to your imagery.
Oh, thank you. I'll show you this one. Because you like just these ones hanging here, you can kind of see, there's something underneath. And when it's pasted, it's beautiful. It's got a really good finish, and it picks up all the detail from your plate, and it's strong. You can wet it and print it and wet it and print it. But having it like this too, I just love, I don't know, I like that whispery. I like working with it where you can see it as well.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense. It makes a lot of sense. I feel like when you were here with Pam, you both had work that had this real like tactile and interesting material usage. And I think at that time she was working on possibly printing a lot of doilies.
Yeah, and she was collecting lace. She's from a place called Clinton, which is probably similar to Picton. And, you know, it's a small farming community that isn't, people move away and don't necessarily come back.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was collecting some of the lace from that area and sort of lost arts and building sculptures. She was printing the paper and kind of using some of the lace as sculptural material with the prints. Yeah, and they got really big. They're
really beautiful.
We had a question.
Yeah.
What was the name of the paper?
Of which paper? The one that we were just looking at?
Yeah.
That one is a 9-gram Gampi tissue.
God, that's so thin. 9-gram paper.
Yeah, but it's strong, right?
The Gampi papers are fantastic to work with.
It is. It's got a beautiful surface.
Do you sell those papers, right?
Oh, yes, we do.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Chrissy, really?
Well, I mean, I just thought I would give you an opportunity to do a little plug, you know, why not?
Oh, yeah. The store I run with my husband is Wyndham Art Supplies, and we sell a lot of papers from the Japanese paper place, who are amazing importers and experts in all things Japanese paper. And I think they're doing a washi, like some kind of online workshop soon. Look on their Instagram.
Okay.
But yeah. And Sigrid Blom she's been there for so long. She knows everything. Like I would send her a little tiny scrap of something. I couldn't remember what it was. And she'd be like, you know, Inspector Sigrid, like, feels like a Mitsumata, you know. And she'd go, Tammy, this is what it is. So she's hosting the talk.
It's on May 1st, Katie says.
Oh, yay. Thanks, Katie. But
the small printmaking world. I love it.
We got to look out for each other.
It's true. We do. Do we want to dive into some shares, or is there more studio that we haven't seen?
Well, there's the upstairs, but we won't go there. I think that's the studio. The two behind me, I just realized I can kind of see them, are what I did on my residency. My, you know, residency at home, which I know some people say that doesn't count, but it really counted for me. So.
Oh, wow.
So this is where I didn't know what I was doing, and I just said, it doesn't matter. It's okay. Just, you're here by yourself. Just make with what you have. And so you can see the repetition of all those prints.
What kind of process is this? Is this...
There's printmaking. So like the nasturtium is the print. Like, I don't know if you saw it underneath the tissue we were looking at. So that's printed on a 9-gram Gampi or an Insumata, Inshu or Mitsumata, but it could be a bunch of different really fine Japanese papers. And when they're wet, when the paper's wet, it disappears really. So the ink is like layered on top of other layers. So there's, you know, some underneath, and then this one's on top.
Gosh, it's beautiful.
So, and then I just had no kind of goal or restrictions or anything. And I started playing with soft pastels are really fun on canvas. And then when you take a wet brush, they turn into paint. It's pretty great.
Oh, wow. I've never done that.
No, well, that was fun. And then this one was a little bit, I don't know if I can get far enough away, but the same idea, but a little more, I don't know, riotous, chaotic,
But still, like, I mean, it's just the way that you work with layers to create such an atmosphere. It's so gorgeous. I love it.
oh, thank you.
There was a question to post the link to the May 1st workshop from Japanese Paper Place, and we will definitely put that in the description of this video when we post it, which might be in about an hour or so.
Or longer. We have a little puppy now, so my follow-up posts are taking longer to get out because he's sort of awake shortly after we're done, and then, like, luckily his, like, fall asleep time lines up well because he is a corgi and he likes to just eat everything, like, so much more than I was anticipating. So if he was in here, we'd be constantly being like, stop chewing the carpet, stop chewing all the legs to the table, stop chewing my feet. Like, it would just be an endless stop chewing chat. But yeah, so it means I'm a little bit slower on the posting everything, all the follow-up stuff, but
we'll
I'll do my best.
definitely post the link to the Japanese Paper Place because
yeah, it'll be in the stories and then in the highlights.
It'll be worth your time. Oh, I should mention, before I did the clothing, like, I've been pasting Japanese tissue or printing with it, but it wasn't until Chris and I, 2019, just before we built the studio, we got a lot done before things shut down, which was lucky. Not that we knew what, but we just did. And we went to visit a friend in Australia who we had been promising to visit for probably too long. And then we said, let's go to Japan, because when are we going to get away for this period of time? Chris had never been away for a month ever. And in Japan, through the Japanese Paper Place, Nancy Jacoby and Peter had connected us to Takao Moriki over the years, who's their Japanese, he exports from Japan to Nancy, and Nancy had worked with his father, and he took us around and introduced us to another paper maker, Tamukasa Kubo, who was amazing, and he walked us through all the steps of, like, growing the mulberry in his yard to peeling it and soaking it and separating it. Like, these papers are made so carefully by hand and there's no waste, like, there's no industry or effluent, or it's behind their house, and the whole family are working. And what they're making is these whisper thin, super strong pieces of paper that are just gorgeous. And they cost a little bit more. That I don't think they cost enough, really, when you see what work goes into it. But using them in your artwork is just such a pleasure. The fibers are so long, like, they're just so strong. That's all. I won't go on and on, but
You have a blog post about that on your site,
yes,
right? Yeah,
that's right.
Because the pictures of the space are so beautiful. Like, the landscape, oh my gosh. It's gorgeous.
It was just such an amazing opportunity. I'm so grateful to have had that. But it also taught me how strong these papers are and what care and the effort that goes into making this piece of tissue.
There's a video on YouTube that I watched last year that is like I don't know if there is any talking. It's this quiet, gorgeous video of a woman making Japanese paper. And yeah, it is stunning. And like you're saying, just like, I don't know, I just think it's valuable to see the craftsmanship that goes into something that, like, I feel sometimes when I'm in the print studio, I know that I can be a bit frivolous with paper. Like, I don't always think about what I'm using. I'm thinking about what I'm making. And so it's good to reflect on the beginning part of your process, like where it starts before it gets to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it made me very aware.
I love that.
Well, like, the way that they make papers in the East is so much different than Western-made papers. which are like mass produced, like off machines, and like the sheer difference between I grow the things and then I harvest and peel and then process the plants and then make the fibers on screens versus like we have a small factory in wherever town.
Yeah,
like,
and
so different.
there's a lot of pollution too, right, in the Western industries.
It's true. It's very true.
Wow.
We have a couple arts we want to share with you.
I can.
Oh, good.
Our little like waste could segue into the first share quite nicely, actually. Not that this piece relates to the work that I want to talk about, but it's the one piece that I have of JP's that we haven't already shown. So this is an old piece from JP King. I don't know when we got this. Maybe kind of around the same time that we met you, actually. Maybe a year after.
2012, 2013, that kind of era. I think JP gave it to us as a gift when him
and Kirsten,
they did their first residency.
Yes. So it's
were they there? Do they have the risograph?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a digital reproduction of a collage piece. So at the time, JP was doing a lot of collage work. But why I wanted to talk about JP is because obviously yesterday was Earth Day, so I'm behind the calendar, like let's respect the Earth conversation. But I think we should think about it more than one day a year. And JP's work, sort of in the past while, it's been quite a while that he's been working on this. I just don't remember exactly when it started, but it's been in a lot of ways centered around like waste and like our relationships with objects and this kind of like concept of like living with things that are eventually going to be trash. And so I did pull some quotes from JP's website because it is very meaningful work and I don't want to just be like running from what my brain remembers about things all the time. So the couple quotes that I really like that is in the section called discard culture, which is like, I think like the main body of work that he's been doing through like school and focusing on mostly over the past few years, is like turning the idea of like how we create waste, like we make resources into waste faster than we can turn waste back into resources, which is such like an interesting way of thinking it. Instead of just thinking like everything's trash, like some trash can turn into new resources, but we just don't do that transition fast enough versus how much we waste. So I don't know, that to me was like because I think sometimes with recycling, you're like, oh, I'm doing good, like I'm recycling. But that really is a drop in the bucket of like how we're managing this problem, or not managing it, maybe is a better way to think about it. And then he poses a few questions on this section of his website, and one of them is like, what way does waste shape the world? And I just think that's such an important question to pose, because it is shaping the world. And I think in North America, we're very fortunate to not have to visually see that shaping as often as other parts of the world, where the way that waste shapes your community and your landscape is very dramatic and apparent at all times. And yeah, I just think that that part of his website is really beautiful and has a lot of meaningful content, and it shares a lot of the projects that he's been doing in collaboration a lot with Sean Martindale. I hope that's how you say Sean's last name. And there's like videos and installations and written pieces. He made like a 12-step waste program, like kind of following what looks like a 12-step like addict breakdown, like a little Rezo book, and the whole thing is online. So yeah, JP is just great, and I think that this project that he's been working on is really great. And yeah, so I wanted to talk about JP.
That's pretty great. I love the 12-step. It is an addiction, I think, or like life of convenience, right?
Oh, most definitely.
So yeah, I think this is a good, well, one of the things about this time that we're going through is an unlearning or a new awareness of a lot of those things.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a wonderful piece too.
It is a wonderful piece. I mean, all of the work that I've ever seen JP make is beautiful and wonderful, and yeah, highly recommend.
Are they still doing paper mass?
I don't think so.
I'm not sure.
I
feel
really
like,
liked that.
yeah, so but I don't think it's happening anymore. But I don't want to be fully quoted on that because I could be wrong.
Okay.
Morgan says no.
Oh, okay.
So we have a confirmation from the outside world. Excellent.
Thanks, Morgan. So yeah, that's our first share. Now
Thank
it's
you.
over to you.
Over to me. Okay,
Yeah.
so how do I do this? I'll turn my camera around. This first piece is it's a body of work is the piece that my wonderful friend and very talented artist Pearl Van Geest was my neighbor in my old studio, and I miss her so much. This is a project she did a few years ago, partly in my studio with my little press, and I'm going to forget where she did the typeset. It wasn't with you guys, was it?
No.
No? Okay. Maybe it was with Pam?
I'm wondering.
Maybe it was with Pam. Okay, so they're poems by Gary Michael Dalt. And
okay.
it's a beautiful piece, and I don't think it's been presented yet, so I'm not going to. What happens when
Well, no, your audio.
your phone runs out of battery?
Are you on low battery?
I'm on low now.
Okay.
Well, we'll do our best. We'll see where we get.
Okay. Home to Icebergs. Oh, I'll let you read it. Oh. Can you see?
Yeah.
Home to icebergs, riding like leaves on the sea's back.
So this is a body of work that I think Pearl started on Residency at Pooch Cove in Newfoundland.
Okay.
And she spent a lot of time on the cliffs drawing the waves come crashing into the shore. And so, can you see that?
Yeah.
Are these little etchings?
Yes, with Shinkolé.
Oh,
They're
nice.
lovely. They have a really great tone in it. They're not aqua tinted though, are they?
No, I think it's the plate tone. Oh, they are aqua tinted. We did these a little while ago.
Cool. There's like lovely tones happening.
Yeah.
So Pearl was new to printmaking, or she had done some printmaking, but not, an extent. Oh, I love this one. Wait till you see this one. Let's see if I can get it in good light.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it wonderful?
That is wonderful. I love the open space at the bottom so that you get all this drama in that really dark center point.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a box collection?
Yeah, it's in the box.
Wow.
And so it hasn't been presented yet, I don't think. So she'd love to, present it. But isn't it wonderful?
It is wonderful. How many pieces in total are there?
I think 12 etchings and 12 poems.
Oh, wow. That's so nice.
Are they all poems by Gary Michael Dalt?
Yes. They worked on it together.
Oh, cool.
Who's an art critic writer, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Former, yeah. And he is an artist as well. Like he paints and does other things. So
that's a lovely first share. I also just like collections of prints. Kyle did a collection of prints one time and like handmade a little
little
kind of like
box.
an envelope for it.
This was an envelope box. Yeah. It was a cutie.
It was. It was
like one of my
cutie.
last projects I did back in university.
Mm-hmm.
Here's our second share. Ooh.
So this is a little screen print by Jill Smith. And Jill started drawing just like a series of rock studies during her residency, and then created a collection of screen prints based on those studies. And most of her work is like looking at like intimacy and labor between like the maker and the material. And I would say that like predominantly her work is ceramic and sculpture based in installation, but she does do some screen prints on paper, but also textiles that like are placed within the installation. So there's sort of like a conversation happening between the shapes of the ceramics and the shapes that are in the screen prints. But what I loved about this was she made this like paper mache rock that was based on the rock that she studied for these drawings that turned into prints. And then Kyle and I and like the group of residents all went to this like place that we really loved going. And maybe you went with us when you were here or possibly by yourself, I'm not sure. Little Bluff. It got closed down last summer because so many people were really taking advantage of the outdoor space. There's no like public washrooms or garbages or anything. It's just like a conservation area, but it has a beautiful beach and like walking paths, and people were camping there and leaving trash and, you know, making everything into a facility. And so the people that kind of manage it decided to shut it down to the public because they were like, this isn't for you to literally poop on. So we didn't get to go there at all last year because you weren't allowed to drive. You could walk in, but we didn't, you know, have a way to do that. So this space that I've been going to since I was a little kid, I wasn't allowed to experience last summer at all. And yeah, we've just been talking about like walking our puppy in places we love. So Jill's work came to mind in this day that we took her rock on a walk.
This giant paper mache rock that we took on a walk.
On a walk through Little Bluff. And yeah, it was just, we loved having Jill and we really love this piece. So that's our second share.
It's lovely. I don't know if you can hear me because I plugged my phone in.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. I still have it in, but there's not plugged in. So is she in your area, or she did that inspired by the rock when she was visiting?
She's in Toronto. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was just inspired by the landscape. We've had a few residents get inspired by rocks while staying here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is kind of fun, actually.
Trying to think of them all off the top of my head.
There's a lot. I feel like I could easily put together like little book collections of like curated concepts from artists that have been here.
Oh yeah, I did a lot of monoprints of your trees in your yard, and I think like on my windowsill, you can see it. I have a bunch of seed pods and things, and
oh yeah.
Oh, this one is from your tree. I don't know if you recognize.
Oh, from the catalpa.
Yeah. And I did a few prints of that one. And then this is funny. It's just made me think, I don't know if you can see it, but do you remember that big tree, Kyle, you cut down by your driveway?
Yes.
And there were all these discs. And anyway.
The tree that almost killed Kyle.
Or the shagbark hickory one.
Oh, the hickory one. Okay.
No, it's the one that almost killed Kyle.
Yeah, that one. I hate that tree.
You did it. You did that tree.
That was a scary day.
It was a scary day.
It was a big tree.
Yeah.
Luckily, it didn't hit me because that would have killed me immediately.
Yeah, to fill people in on the story, we had just moved here. All of the print studio, like the whole shop was just in the driveway, like tables, presses, flat files, like just everything was in the driveway. And I was in the studio with Kyle, and it started to get really windy, and like clearly a storm was coming. And we had my parents' like Dodge Ram truck that was from like the 70s, and the windows were down. And Kyle was like, "Oh, I'm gonna run out and close the windows so the truck doesn't get soaking wet," because it had like, you know, like the old seats that just were like foam and would get totally soaked forever. So he went outside to roll up the windows. And I was standing in the studio looking out the window, kind of working on something, and looked up. Kyle's like rolling down a window, looked down, looked up, and there was just a giant tree that had fallen down, and Kyle was gone. And I was like, well, I guess Kyle died. And I remember just being like, I don't even know how to, my brain can't even comprehend what is happening right now. And then he popped up from like the crotch of this tree and was just like, I almost died. It was wild. It somehow didn't
like 3 cigarettes back to back. Like, it was like not good.
Yeah, it was very stressful. I apologize for how squeaky this chair is. It's cute, but very squeaky.
Oh my God.
That's the tree story.
Do you have another thing to share with us?
I do. Let's see. I have 2, but we'll see.
Yeah. You can go back to back. We only had 2 today.
Oh, okay. I have 3.
Amazing.
So this one, let's see if I can get the light with my technical difficulties here. Maybe I'll unplug it just for a minute. I think I might have a little bit. Okay. Is that weird when people wave their camera around? Like,
no, we're just so used to it now. This is like a breezy show. You know,
I like it. I like it's very comfortable here visiting with you too.
Oh,
this
good.
is
We like it too.
this is Abby Nowakowski. This is her piece "Smother Me," and I have a little bit I can read about it. She does these monoprints. She graduated from the University of Guelph a couple of years ago, and she works with us at the store. And she's just an amazing human being. But this is like a little tiny etching in the center. Isn't that sweet?
That's awesome.
Oh,
this is something for both of you, really, isn't it?
It really is.
I just love it. So she's not afraid of color. But yeah, then she does these little tiny things.
Like, that's got to be like the size of a finger. It's so small.
Let's see. Yeah. There you go.
Thank you. Scale reference is so helpful.
She is.
Yeah, all those parts are warranted. That piece is beautiful.
Yeah, so look her up. She has a website, but she jokes about her frugality, but she's very industrious. And I think she was collecting little bits and pieces from the print studio, and she made it work.
That's so smart.
Yeah, she's smart. Smother Me is a series of prints that has the overarching theme of being endlessly confined. This work is created with a feeling of tightness in mind and aims to help illustrate the grace and pain that embodies victims of abuse.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it accomplishes that.
I think it does too. It's like overwhelming the scale of the like color field versus this tiny little person.
Well, at first glance, like that little person doesn't even register. It's just like a little gray bit.
No, and there's an intimacy, and then there's this the colors and the.
Yeah, it's like this loud, overwhelming, like shouting color field that is like almost totally wiping out the presence of this like beautiful, gentle figure.
She's a fan of Shinkolé as well.
I'm seeing a theme.
Yeah. Okay. The third one has nothing to do with Shinkole.
Okay.
Oh, there's a Gillian Wilson. I love that piece.
Oh, that's a good piece too.
This piece is, I don't even know the title. I'm really embarrassed about that, but I still wanted to share it. I just got it yesterday, I think. And it's by Janet Morton. And it's a little rib cage.
Yeah.
There's my hand.
Oh, it's little.
And it's so delicately made, and it's lined with tartan fabric. I don't know if I can
What?
get in there.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Isn't it amazing?
What is it made of?
I think it's fabric. I haven't had time to really investigate it too much. I just, Ed Video here is Media Arts Center, and they created a show called Temporary Collection. And I don't know how many pieces.
This is for you for sure. Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah. There was about 30 pieces, and you just bought a ticket at different price points. And the first price point would be the most expensive, and you get to go in first. And it's all virtual. And you could kind of do some research on the works. And anyway, it was really hard to.
Oh no, we can't hear you.
We just loved it. Oh. Switcheroo.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a beautiful piece. Yeah.
Okay, so Janet, she's fiber art. She does a lot of that. I think the first piece I saw of hers was a wall at Paul Petro Gallery that was knitted like a vine of flowers that covered the whole wall. It was just amazing.
Wow.
And from there, I've been kind of amazed. She's a local artist as well. And yeah, she's an amazing talent. This year, I've been watching on her Instagram. She's been taking old family photos and putting little masks on everybody.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
It's sad, but they're kind of sweet. I like them.
Oh, like little tiny masks that she's making out of fabric?
Yeah, like a little black and white photo, and then she's stitched. I think she was doing embroidery or like a little piece of blue cloth, and then stitching it, where the mask is. And at first it was like, oh, yeah, it's a statement. But then she kept doing it, and I thought, oh, this is a statement, right? Like,
Yeah.
Let's put masks on everyone.
Well, I mean, it is going to be like this period of time where like all of our photos, people are going to be wearing masks, which is just weird.
Yeah.
It is weird. Yeah. But
I was watching this YouTuber that I really like, D'Angelo, and he was talking about companies that are coming out with like luxury masks. And he's an interesting YouTuber. I like his videos, but he was just talking about like, I mean, they look like they're from space, which is kind of fun, but like also, is this our new future? Like, do we just wear masks all the time now? Like, even when we feel like we're out of the woods, are we just going to keep wearing masks? And I don't know, it's like a kind of a conversation I hadn't really considered before, especially because we don't live in a city. So, I don't really see people, one, because we don't ever go anywhere. And, sometimes if we do see people, it might be like they're walking past our house in the middle of nowhere, so they're not wearing a mask. So, but I could imagine if I lived in a city, I probably would end up wearing a mask for a much longer time after, I don't know, during, I have no idea. I feel like saying after feels like not even fair anymore, because I feel like I've been saying that for a year. But yeah, luxury masks, are they our life? I'm not sure.
well, I mentioned we had been to Japan the year before, and we were there just by fluke at a perfect time for sightseeing with the cherry blossoms.
Mm.
And we would be traveling around, and we had rail passes, and different times everyone would be wearing masks. And so we asked Takao, why is, some places there's nobody with a mask, or the odd person, as sometimes it's everybody. And he said, like, it's pollen season, so with people with their allergies, so like it's a filter. Like it should, I know there's so much debate and politics around this piece of fabric, but it's a filter. So when people are feeling a little run down, they might wear one, or if they feel like they might be coming down with something, they don't want to share it, or they're feeling vulnerable, they don't want to catch something, or pollen. They said definitely when it's allergy season, most people will wear them. And it's not really a big deal there. They have designer masks for sure.
Yeah, well, you should see these ones on this YouTube. They're like, they look like they're designed by like a Marvel costume designer for like the Marvel movies. So they're like designed. They also like hook up to your phone, which I'm not entirely sure why that's necessary.
So you can wear a mask and still speak.
Well, no, but it was like, one of them was like reading your breath rate or something. Like, it was just like, I don't know if I need that data. Not sure.
You ate garlic recently.
I'm good not having all of my vitals datified for me. That's fine.
But people have those Fitbit things. They might.
I do have a Fitbit, but it's not reading my heart rate. I don't have like the fanciest Fitbit. I have the like low budge Fitbit.
Okay, on that topic, I did read an article that there is like technology moving forward that's like it's like a sensor microchip that you'd put on on your teeth, like a tooth in your mouth, and it would record like whatever you ate, and kind of like automatically do like number crunching and data recording based upon like what you're eating. So like as a way to track your food. No, just not into it.
I feel like food shame and guilt is already like a real thing. That might just be. That just sounds dangerous.
And then maybe they'll say, "Oh, you didn't chew that enough."
Yeah. No. And then your mask is like, you're breathing too heavily, and your Fitbit's like, you don't walk enough, and you're just like, I don't know, I give up. I can't eat, I can't walk, I can't breathe. This is a nightmare. Anyway.
Maybe you could program it to say, time for the studio.
That's true. I could use that. That would be very good for me.
They could have an app for artists.
Stop watching Netflix. Go make artwork. That's all I would have to say.
Yeah, turn that off.
Get in the shop. Oh my gosh. Well, this has been lovely.
Yeah, it's so good to see you too.
It's good to see you as well. And then thanks for showing us around your beautiful new space. It's so bright and well organized, and yeah. You're like, right now, it's getting there. It looks very organized.
Yeah. Well, yeah, nothing's out yet. Like, there's boxes of things. That's why it looks organized. Maybe that's it. They're upstairs in Chris's studio.
Oh my gosh. Well, thanks, Chris, for letting the boxes hang up there so we got the illusion of super well organized, fully stocked space. Oh my goodness. Well, have a lovely weekend, and thanks everyone for hanging out with us and, answering questions that we have about when workshops are happening and all that sort of thing. So it's always nice to come on and feel like we're having a little like printmaker chat and hangout. It's so good.
Yeah.
Community.
Exactly.
Lovely chatting with you, Tammy.
You too. Take care, you too.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much, Tammy, for showing us around your studio. It was a blast to see your new space. I'm a little bit jealous. It seems so clean and so new and so fresh. Something I'm also very jealous about is your paper consideration and selection in your artwork. It's something that I've always been envious of, and I think that you have a really lovely consideration for those materials. If you all could do 2 simple things for us, if you could like our video, and if you could subscribe to our channel. Both of these actions go a huge way to helping Chrissy and I make this whole thing sustainable, and really appreciate that. If you would like to continue supporting us and would like to support us a little bit more, maybe check out our Patreon link below. Patrons get early access to videos and they get behind the scenes content, and who knows, maybe some other things come down the pipeline when we're
working on stuff.
We're working on lots of stuff. Your help is appreciated.
It really is.
Catch you next time.